Why is my camera all screwed up? Right. I'm on the wrong channel. Give me a moment. Okay. So I know this channel has gone through some weird shit and has had weird stuff just happening to it. Usually all the time, because I don't know exactly what I want to do with this. So yeah. It used to be, a long time ago, a channel to just like hang out with a community on YouTube and stuff, and for me to get my foot in the door that way. But it then turned, basically that was not going to happen. So I went a different route, and I basically did a thing. There I am. I couldn't find myself on the thing. On the thing. Just wait for the chat thing to work. Here we go. Right, working. Yeah, then I wanted to do an art channel kind of thing, where basically I did some simple art criticism, and maybe even gave people some pointers if they basically submitted their own art and things, and that was kind of good, I guess. I mean, it's just that I didn't really do any more episodes besides one, and I recorded one, only it was just incredibly boring to basically edit that. And I just wasn't enjoying it. You know, I wasn't enjoying editing that for some reason. I think it may have something to do with the fact that it was me. You know, I hate editing stuff for me when I'm that, you know, in general. I just hate looking at myself. It's just a thing, you know. Most people feel this way, and it's just, like I said, it's a thing. Oh my god, yawning already. Ugh, sorry. We're only like 3 minutes in, already yawning. Yeah, so when I do my other editing and when I do other videos and stuff, I'm not normally editing myself, just and listening and stuff. I basically, you know, I don't watch it and listen. I basically have something going on in the background, usually while I'm working on the editing for those videos and stuff. This is very nice. It's, you know, it's usually very nice and very short, because it doesn't usually take super long to edit these things, and it kind of gets done and done, you know. But when I was trying to edit the video for the picture behind me, the Starry Night, the TARDIS thing. Oh my god! Oh, why? There we go. Yeah, it became kind of a chore to edit that, and it became it became boring, and oh my god, I could not stand listening to myself at all. Like, seriously, that was just, oh, I mean, I'm irritating myself just thinking and talking about it. So I figured that basically after that happened, I just was not interested anymore. My eyes now stinging, and if anybody knows this channel, or anybody knows me from other live streams that I've done in the past, then you will know that this is a thing that happens whenever I do live streaming. It's actually a thing that happens whenever I do artwork as well, because I have to focus so much that I forget to blink, so I end up with stingy eyes occasionally. I will get to what I'm finishing saying. Jesus. So my Discord just went off on my computer. Yeah, I figured that essentially that's not going to be a thing. That it's not sustainable. I cannot continue to do this. If this was what it was like to edit just one video of me just talking in front of a camera, then no, it's either going to be all live or it's all going to be nothing. And I just haven't revisited the idea because of that. I have had a couple of new ideas and stuff that's been happening on the on one of my other channels, and essentially it's just been a kind of like almost a daily thing where I will we will learn something together by me opening up a Wikipedia page and basically just reading stuff, you know, that's on the Wikipedia page. And just kind of almost riffing on it, you know, just and learning something and just being with you guys and being like doing something interesting. Oh my god, stop it. Just doing something interesting for once. So yeah, I mean, it was fun. It did work. The only problem with that is that basically, and this may become a recurring thing, but I'm going to try not to super bum everybody out. But kind of my depression got in the way, and also this app that I'm currently streaming from on my computer, StreamYards, sorry, they have issues with their free program, and I can't afford it. And basically, you get a set amount of hours, so that is not an option. Oh my god! Is there a way to stop yourself from yawning all the time? Like, is there a thing? I'm almost considering medication to basically stop myself from yawning. If there was a thing that actually did that. Yeah, so I stopped doing that because essentially I couldn't afford to do that because, like I said, this app costs money if I basically was to spend any money on it, but I don't. So I get a set amount of time to actually do these live shows using this app, and I will use OBS, but OBS or Streamlabs is just a pain in the butt, and my computer doesn't like it, or the internet here doesn't like it. Something doesn't like it, so I'm only going to use this from now on, unless I absolutely have to do a live stream somewhere, in which case I will use Streamlabs. So there's a bit of a quality issue, apparently, with certain people. It's not everybody, but it's just certain people. Hey, Itchy. Howdy, Itchy. Dude, this is not going well already. I've got no commissions to do. I've got no work to do, and essentially, I decided to come on here and try this out. So, this idea for Itchy and for anybody that watches this on playback, the idea with this is art school. Me helping people to basically better their art or start their art or whatever. I've done this in the past. I've been an art tutor in the past and helped a couple of people out and stuff, and it's been relatively successful. Relatively. and I actually got paid to do that, and that was great. So it'll be good to do that on here and kind of maybe get paid, and also help each other learn about this new software, because I'm still getting used to using digital art. I basically have not done digital art at all. I tried out a couple of times before I got this tablet, this drawing tablet, and I'll show you that in a second because I'm going to plug it in. And kind of failed because of the disconnect between the screen and the pad, and I really need a screen that I can actually draw on and stuff, but those are usually super expensive. However, I found one that I might get in the future, depending on if I can, have any money, that actually is cheap and good for that. So I'm looking forward to potentially getting that in the future. But until then, we are going to learn together how to do digital art. Whilst I'm doing this, you have the opportunity to basically ask me to help you out with anything, because we are going to do an art picture. Jesus. You're not kindergartners. I don't know what the term is, because we don't use kindergarten in the UK. We're not preschoolers. That's better. That sounds, yeah. I'm not doing finger paint here. We're going to do a picture based on something that I've always wanted to do, a serious art piece, not just a concept art or a sketch, based on a piece of fiction that I want to get off the ground. And that is, an Itchy, you will know this, that is a Woven Taraxian. And in case you don't know, it's kind of a Pegasus giant dog, It's basically in this fictional universe that I've kind of created as kind of a side project and kind of something that I've done for work. Basically, there are these animals, but yeah, everything's an animal. There are that are basically horse-sized dogs, but they have wings. Essentially, that's what they are. I want to do a nice picture actually depicting them, because all I've got is sketches. All I've got is concept art and sketches. So I want to do an actual nice picture depicting them, and this will be good because this will go through all of the processes of this piece of software, and also all of the process of actually making a painting, a digital painting of this thing. And we're going to use all of the light tricks and all of the all of the fur effects, and there's even feathers, so all the feather effects. I don't know, they don't really have feathers, they're more kind of like hairs that kind of it's complicated. But yeah, 66 days till I get to attack you. Dude, I know. I am excited. I'm a little bit just kind of, I'm trying not to get overly excited, because just, the, oh, what's it called? The travel anxiety thing is starting to head in. And I'm just worried that if I get too excited and then bullshit happens, because me, because me, bullshit happens to me all the time. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too excited, because that and what if bullshit happens? I've just got a feeling that it's probably just yeah, it's probably nothing. Hey, Jeffers, I'm guessing Itchy went then, because the viewer count hasn't changed, but Jeffrey, you're here now. Fucking chihuahua. But no, hi Jeffrey. Right, I'm just wondering where to start. Now, I know, I already know that Itchy's here, and I know that basically he had a I never left. Okay. Oh, the view count has just gone up when you said that. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to ignore that most of the time anyway while I'm on here because we have stuff to do. My beard looks great. It's because I haven't showered in a couple of days, so it's kind of like trying to reset into being long. I'm still holding it. I'm still holding bits of it. It just pinged away. So it's that long. It's twice as long as it appears, but it kind of like looks longer. It's like when I haven't showered. Yes, Itchy's here, and basically he said something about. I went really Canadian, just in one word. Proportions and perspective, or is that somebody else? You. So I might help you out with that, but I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna just yet because we're gonna set up how to do this. By the way, if anybody can think of a better name for this show, then let me know because art school or whatever, I don't know. Art school time sounds weird. It sounds like I'm hosting a drama club or something. So let me just bring you over to the blank page because it is a blank page at the moment. That was you. So you want perspective and proportions, or proportions in line with perspective. You want a new bet date. I can show you how I basically learned perspective and proportions. However, it's going to be super rudimentary because essentially I kind of just do this in my head now. But have you heard of the a perspective point? That went wrong because there's nothing on it yet, so it's pointless for now. Yeah, have you heard of perspective points? A lot of people basically went, we're going to go for proportions in a second. It's just that perspective is the easiest thing to sort out because it's like this is just what you do in your head after a while. But yeah, well, first off, well, stick with me because basically I'm also looking. I'm doing a picture at the same time. So I'm just looking at pictures of dogs, and it's adorable. But at the same time, I'm trying to screen share and talk to you guys. So perspective points is basically, I will demonstrate this in a second. You put a dot on the page, and then you put another dot, and these are and in between these dots is the horizon, and then you start drawing your picture and basically line up the dots with the thing that you're drawing. It's very good for like geometric shapes and buildings and backgrounds and stuff, but it can be used for everything. And usually have two perspective dots, and they're not always on the page, so it can get really confusing because they could be off the page, and just know where they are. It helps. And again, I'll demonstrate in a second. I'm having issues with my computer. I'm having computer issues. How have you guys been, by the way? What is up, guys? Oh, by the way, Billy Bob Texas has just posted something on Instagram because I got a notification on my computer. But yeah, whatever. Right. can probably look this up. You can probably look it up, perspective points, but it's just it's something that you learn in graphic design as well. It's really good for unique writing. I've got a scab on my lip. What the fuck? Right. So I'm also doing a drawing here, and I'm looking. I'm scrolling through pictures of dogs. Actually, I'm looking for pictures of puppies because it's just the anatomy of this creature that I'm going to be drawing is a lot more similar to younger dogs. They have larger heads. You know, these creatures I'm drawing have larger heads than Earth dogs. They, at least they appear to be, and stuff. And it's mainly because of the wingspan and all that stuff. It's a whole big thing. So I'm looking for pictures of puppies to find a good position that they're in. Because although I could do this completely from scratch and anatomy and everything, oh my god, that will be a pain in the butt. Like that will take forever, and it will just be not good. Oh, that's so cute. So I'm trying not to just look at the pictures of puppies and get distracted, but at the same time, it's really hard because puppies are adorable. My eyes are actually watering up because of it. Can the pup gobble up someone? It's not that kind of picture. Although in battle they have done that. Seriously, they're awesome. They are awesome. Because I've talked to you, Ichi, about the Taraxian stuff a lot. So you know what a Wolven Taraxian is. There's even been a surprise picture on one of the videos that I've done. It was if this was a real class, I wouldn't be able to concentrate on you on you what you were saying to us because I'd be too busy admiring it. Well, Jeff, as much as I appreciate it, this is going to be this hopefully be about from now on this channel. So again, as much as I appreciate it, it's at the time and place. It's not appropriate. I don't know how to say it without sounding like a dick. Calm down. Like if you was a student, then I basically be like, please try to concentrate, guys. Please. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm trying to be professional here. It's just not working. You know what? I'm gonna go with the with that one. You'll see in a second. They have a different facial structure. Do they chew? Yes, they're well like a dog. Sorry, this puppy's adorable, but I'm saving this image. This is important because it's going to go on the canvas, which will give us appropriate canvas size and shape and all that stuff. And then I can demonstrate perspective and stuff. So yeah, yeah, you did. I do remember how big they are compared to people. Well, they're like I said, they're the size of horses. You know, like a shy horse. Am I back? What happened? I have no idea what just happened. Bink. Oh my god. Now you can all look at the adorableness of the puppy. I have no idea what happened. Literally just the camera light thing went off and I was like, what the hell? So I was just reading. Yeah, I'm back. Right. Now I unplug. I'm going to demonstrate exactly what I'm going to demonstrate proportions in a second, but first, just a rudimentary class in perspective points. It's going to be really hard to do without a ruler because when I've demonstrated this in the past, I've done it physically, and it's helpful with rulers and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I can actually get on this program it to do straight lines. At least we're going to try. So yeah. So make it big so you can see, or if you're busy, then yeah. So I'm just going to, that's my base layer, but I'm also going to make a different layer. So say goodbye to the puppy for now. So what you normally have, can I get shapes? So say this is your, oh my god. I did not mean to do a filled-in square. So say this is your canvas. So the square is your canvas, right? It's slow here for now. Cool. So like perspective. So what you're going to do is you want to draw a box, a square, right? You want to draw a square. Let me just go back to. Why is the shape? Because it's got two different. I don't know what's going on. I've never done this before. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So you got a square, and you want to draw a cube, a box, or something. So all you want to do is you want to basically make a point. It's in white, isn't it? So what you're going to do is, should I just zoom in so you can see it better? So what you want to do is make a point, and you can do this in pencil, or basically if you're doing a program like this, you can make a layer where you can just do this. And what you do is, like, you want to just draw a square. Oh, fuck's sake. Why is... Oh, okay. I have drawn stuff. Seriously, I'm still learning how to use this program, even though I've used it a couple of times already. Yeah. So you want to draw a square or cube. And normally how I do this is just by like drawing a cube. And I can do this by basically figuring out my own perspective lines and stuff. For example, I've got a perspective point is way up here. and also there's one way over here. I don't know if you can see these dots, and these line up with the sides of the cube in kind of like straight lines. These are not straight lines. I can do straight lines, but yeah, they basically line up with the cube. This dot is actually way out of the paper and stuff. So let me just I did you straight lines. Oh my god, I've forgotten how to do straight lines. I did it a minute ago. I did it like yesterday. Is it even over here? I think it's somewhere else. But do you see what I mean? Those are perspective points. There's also another one that is just not on camera. You cannot get it on camera at all. So if I wanted to draw a cube and I wanted to make it a near perfect cube, then what I would need is fucking straight lines. You can get rulers. What the fuck? I did this the other day. How did I do this? I was super clever with it as well. Oh, I think I know. I think I know what's going on. It's on a different layer. There we go. Right. Yep. So most things have three perspective points. I usually just use 2 perspectives because it's just it's a hell of a lot easier. But you can do 3 perspective if you want to go kind of like if you want to go super funky and make it stylized and stuff. Most of the time, the perspective point is a kind of like a horizontal, not horizontal, a vertical hold, a vertical field. So you have 2 where, say, there's like there's one and there's another one, and there's basically like this there's a straight line between them. And then you want to draw your cube in the middle, then what you'll have is you'll have the vertical line, and it basically doesn't have a perspective point. It just is a vertical line all the way around. So essentially, whatever I draw here, then there's like an understanding that it's just. How do we get out of this? I've kind of fucked myself over slightly. Go away. There we go. Now we'll do another line. It's kind of just up and down, you know. And that is the, that's the basic cube. I mean, you could get really funky and essentially try to make it from the upper perspective kind of cube. It's not a cube here because I've drawn it wonky, but you get what I'm saying, right? That's the perspective. You could basically alter the perspective by moving these lines any way you want them to be and stuff. If you want to do not a cube, not a geometric shape at all. Is my eraser still big? Yeah. So you can remove these lines later. They're just guides. And you've got a box. You see? So that's using perspective points. If you wanted to do another perspective point, like from the bottom, then let's get rid of the cube, the fake cube. It's not a real cube. It's I fucked up with the cube. It's just a demonstration purpose thingy. So if I wanted to have another perspective point, you can make it look like you're looking down on something by having another one at the bottom. So you can have a third perspective point, and you can put this anywhere. It depends how artsy the drawing that you're trying to do is. So remembering these lines, and we're going to try to we're sticking with the cube example. So you want it to be like that. And again, sticking with the cube example, we're going to say that's a building. Like you're drawing a skyscraper, so you've got your perspective point of the ground, and then you got these other points, and I'm using these perspective points all the time while I'm doing this. I've slightly fucked up. Ah, that's why, because there's a spider on my wall. Hello. Just randomly crawled out of nowhere. So I want to go here, and using that as a reference, basically you made a slightly funky better box or building or hollow tower thing. And all you got to do to just erase these lines, and oops, I erased a little bit of the top there. And there you go. You have a box building. It wants to learn to draw webbing. Oh my god. Okay. So I was trying to get on my desk. I don't know if I should show you guys because I know some people don't like spiders. But I don't know how well you can see that. It's crawling down my wall. Bastard. So yeah, that's in the corner of my eye all the time. Fun. Right now, that's in the corner of my eye. It's actually really close to my leg as well, so I'm just being wary about it. I was just thinking about getting one so I can overcome my fear of them. Don't get a spider. You know, I don't mind people having pets, but only if they only if you know that they're okay with being a pet, you know? Otherwise, it's mean. Oh, he nearly fell off. Yeah, otherwise it just feels mean to me. I just realized that I haven't changed my view. So you're not seeing. Does any of this make sense? If you're having trouble with anything, let me know. So yeah, everything has like 3 major perspective points, and most of the time it's the vertical perspective point. It's the parallel to the horizon perspective point, especially when you're doing things like buildings or even letters and stuff, because you can use this for making funky 3D letters and stuff. That's the main way. So he's on the moon poster. He's in frame now. If I wasn't so teeny tiny on the screen. If he could just not be on me, then that would be great. Oh, it's about to crawl on the moon. Don't go into that corner because there's another spider. She will eat you. Yeah, most things like buildings and stuff, whenever you're drawing those, they are, you know, like I said, they're vertical. You got the vertical hold lines, so essentially they're perpendicular. Is that the term? They're perpendicular. They're a 90-degree angle to the horizon line that you make with 2 of your other perspective lines, if you even do perspective lines like that, because they can be far away from each other. You can do any kind of that. You know, you can do any kind of like perspective lines that you want to get the effect that you want, and depending on where you are in the picture. For example, if you were can I get my pen back? Thank you. That's going behind the moon poster. Okay. Cool. Neato. So for example, if you're basically like, if you're here, and you're looking directly on at the thing and stuff, then you're going to see something. I know this is teeny tiny, and that you might not be able to see this very well on the screen, but I drew a little tiny person looking at the box. So we're going to draw what he's seeing. So he's seeing this, and that would look, ignore this line, that would look, oh my god, it's terrible when it's really super close up. So that would look kind of, oh my god, vertical lines. All bad. What I'm doing right here, all bad. Don't learn from this. And like his head would be here, and he would be, you know, his shoulders. The beefy guy. So he's looking like kind of like at the building. It's kind of weird and funky like that, because it's a very short building. I should have made it way taller. Okay, I've lost sight of the spider. I don't know whether to be worried or happy about that. But it's behind me. So like that's kind of what he's seeing. And what I do to get this shape is basically, I don't have to horizontal points. I don't have to point over here, because that doesn't line up with anything. So in fact, what I do have is a point of his point of view, which actually is way behind him because we've included him in the picture. So from where he's standing, imagine that he's like standing here. Then basically I did the line connecting down here. I did all this in my head, you know, so kind of like these lines match up almost perfectly, like perfectly straight line down up to there, and we've got a horizontal hold instead. So it depends on what you're drawing. So you basically can use the perspective points for multiple things. So see, we've got a horizontal line here for when you're looking dead on objects or looking up at objects, and yet when you're looking from a different perspective, then you have the looking, or you have the perspective lines on either side, and one from down below. It's a big thing. It depends on exactly where you want to use them and what circumstances that you're actually going to use them in. But no, that's how I basically learned how to do this. I just do this in my head now, and usually if I'm setting something up, then I sometimes even put them down on the paper or outside of the paper or whatever. I'm paranoid now with that wall. So does that help at all? Does it help at all, or is that just wrongness? I know we haven't done anything with the puppy drawing. Itty. But the Tubbs, I have to try this in practice. Well, please do. Well, normally I would let you know, when I've tutored people in the past, then I would let them do that. But yeah, that's okay. I hope that that works. It's very good for like I said, it's very good for backgrounds. And when I was trained to be an architect and stuff, it's very neat for doing buildings. You can use them also to kind of like plan out perspective of like the floors and stuff. So if we say that this person is like this height, so that means that floors go with the perspective line. This is a free floor building. Again, using the perspective lines to map these out. And you can keep them in to do all the little details. This is obviously just like randomly sketching. So we've got funky windows, big door. This is terrible. But yeah. You get my point, right? So that's good. Wow, that was creepy. That was creepy. I almost swore that so it fell on my head. Right. So that good. Mia Wraith. Clearing the whiteboard. Proper professor clearing whiteboard stuff. If you're having problems with it, then of course I would love to hear how you get on with it, and yeah, like tell me if what problems that you have with it. I'm gonna get rid of the shapes. I don't know why it made shapes on different layers. Bring back the puppy just for cuteness. Now, proportions are a bit different, and I can't really show you. Well, I can. That's not true. I'll work on this layer. That's not true. It depends on what proportions that you're talking about. Like, are you talking about proportions? What for? Give me an example. Basically, what I normally do. Well, I'll show you with the puppy. With the puppy. Now, the thing is that normally I work with human proportions, and normally I work with human anatomy and stuff, so it's very, very easy. However, just for the sake of it, we're going to use this picture to do the proportions of this animal. And I basically, he has the right proportions for a animal of the size and shape of, well, not the size, but the shape of, seriously, this is not going to work if I have to keep looking over my shoulder. Creepy. Of the size, of the shape of the Tyrexian Dwarven character that I've got. So I'm going to do like, I know this may, I hate this term and I hate doing this, but it's kind of a form of tracing. I'm going to use just his position. That's all I want. His proportions and his position are perfect for the picture I'm thinking of doing. Even the facial expression is quite nice, although they have different facial features, facial structure than earth dogs, and it's a thing. But you said a person, so I'm just gonna do that because why not? Okay, well, proportion wise, I have suggested in the past that you get a action figure because they're basically way more cheap. You know, they're way cheaper than a art doll. You know, the art doll, the wooden art dolls that you see in art stores and stuff. And you could basically do that by just literally copying what you're seeing and trying to get a feel for. If you just keep doing that, then you'll get a feel for exactly what kind of proportions people have and stuff. I'm not so good at proportions too. I kind of sucked at proportions, especially if I'm just doing freehand and just don't have anything to look at. One of the good things is that basically, if you see you've seen my little animal collection of the stick figures and stuff, the stick bots as they're called. I've got one on my desk here still from last year of a dinosaur. And basically I can use these for like figuring out proportions and things and stuff. But also I've got Big Hero 6. I've got a Big Hero 6 kind of model that I also use and stuff. It especially works because I do a lot of furry artwork, and some of them are big chunky fellas, and the Big Hero 6 model is perfect for that. So like I said, get an action figure because they are way cheaper. A lot of them are actually really nicely opposable. Plus, they come in a variety of body shapes and sizes, so you don't have to adjust them so much. But that's basically how I learned how to do proportions and stuff. But if you don't have an action figure, then you can always use the wall of heads. I mean, a lot of people use the walls of heads. You know, the whole thing of like the head is supposed to be like this unit. So once you have a head, it's just super sketchy. Just a head. Just get a rough head shape. This is how all of the concept sketches go before I'm doing layout and stuff. I'll just draw this. So you've got a head, right? And this head is this much. And then you basically say that certain things are certain heads away and everything. Like the chest is broken up into, again, just it's really hard to focus on this. Like for example, the neck, you can adjust how long a neck is, but we're just going to go for a slightly beefy human male, just for example's sake. So the chest is usually like 2 times this measurement of the head, so it's 2 times high. So I've drawn it 2 times high of the head. You know, the crotch is usually 1 head long or thick. So you've got like, so that the distance between here and here is usually a head, and the distance between here and here is 2 heads usually. It's roughly about that. That's basically what you do. You basically just, like, you could use the head model. I don't like using the head model because, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody's weird and different and stuff like that. Arms and legs depending on height. So you do the whole Da Vinci thing. You may have seen this picture of the, like, the human. Doing a really basic representation of this is kind of sacrilege, in my opinion. Where essentially the height of the it's got like a circle and also like a square. I mean, you may have seen this picture, and this is because these proportions, this is the Da Vinci model. You get the rough idea. Like I said, I don't like the whole heads thing. Arms and legs are different because you use the Da Vinci model, and however tall you make this person, so legs, you're going to have to just guess. They're roughly twice the length of the torso usually. So you basically, feet, you know how I have a thing with feet. So I'm going to do a super basic representation of feet because I'm not going to go. It hurts. It actually hurts whenever I have to do feet. So say I made this person this tall. Now on the Da Vinci model, however tall you make the person, that denotes their arm span. So you have to make the arms match up with the shoulders. So the legs are like 3 heads. Oh my god, yes, fine. The legs are like 3 heads. That's fine. We're using the heads thing. Again, I don't, this is a very, very, very overly simplified way of doing this. Again, I don't like this. I don't like using this, but it's the way that is just generally accepted. It's the way that it's generally accepted. I much prefer people just learn from whatever subject that they're drawing. You can, in my opinion, you draw something. If you want to draw people, and if you make a character up, you make their arms and legs however long you want them to be. You make their head however big you want it to be, and you keep drawing it until you're happy with it, until you're happy with how it looks, in your opinion, and then that being that you've created is completely valid. But this is just a way of drawing generic human beings. That is basically the way that it's generically taught how to do it. And I mean, it works. I'm not going to lie, this works. It shouldn't, because like I said, everybody's different. You know, this isn't the way I'm built, so I don't know. It's just weird. So the arms are basically the arm span is the chest, however wide that you've made the chest, plus the rest of the height of the person. So like in this model here, the distance between here and here is the same as the different distance between here and here. So you can see there that basically however tall he is, that's how wide his arm span is. So doing that math in your head and doing the visual lining up of everything in your head, you basically just put his arms down. We've made a kind of Superman, I just noticed. And that's where his hands are going to be. And they should line up to where his pockets are, or where his pockets will be. So just doing the math, this distance, you know, plus this distance, plus another one of these, that's how tall he is, roughly. So yeah. So that's how you do proportions. That's how you do human proportions, essentially. You use the Da Vinci and the heads mode. Again, super basic, but yeah, it's a thing. You may have noticed that when you're drawing faces, there's a reason why I left this blank. When you're drawing faces, a lot of people will do, you might have seen this on basic illustrations and super quick, the cross. And this is like the thing, you know, the cross is where you want the face to be looking, and this is facial proportions. I'm assuming that you want to know about this as well. I will get into this later whenever we draw a person, but if you want me to talk about this, then I'm good with this. I'm good at this. I'm good with this. Right. I'll just continue on until I get an answer. Yeah. So we're going to make the person like face kind of like a quarter turn of the head. So you might have seen this, and this is just generally down this is the central, the center, the line of symmetry, as they call it, the center of the face. So they call it the line of symmetry. It's meant to be in the middle or wherever you want your subject to be facing. And the eyes are roughly about a third of the way down the face. Or again, this is just very, very basic. I don't usually do this whenever I draw people, and that's mainly because I just draw and erase stuff that looks weird, and I just draw what I see, and essentially if it looks weird, then I erase it, and then I try to draw it again, and I continue to do that until I get it right. That's why you don't see me doing a lot of the I don't do a lot of the layout and the sketch, the actual sketching of the thing that I'm drawing itself. It's because there's a lot of erasing, there's a lot of drawing, there's a lot of very thick lines and lots of stuff just all over the place whenever I do this. And then I tend to just erase around, usually with a finer eraser than this, the stuff that I do, and then either redraw it or draw stuff in the middle. You know, just draw stuff, whatever I'm doodling. So that's why you see that. That's why you see lots and lots of crazy shit whenever I show you guys just my layout when it's completed, you know. But yeah, So I don't tend to do this, but this is a good way to learn. It's a good way to fall into good habits, because eventually you'll do a drawing of someone's head or face, and you won't need to do this at all. You won't need to do the cross of the face and stuff. And a lot of people are really pedantic about the whole, oh my god, you're going against doctrine if you don't do the cross. But I'm totally not like that. I in fact hating those kind of people. You know, they're like, the eye is this wide and there's another eye in between it, and then they do the thing with the heads, but with individual facial features. Annoying, because not everyone's face is like that. You know, the distance between my mouth and my nose is really short. It's annoyingly short. That's the reason why I don't wear that I don't have a shaved lip, a shaved upper lip, because it looks stupid and weird to me. So I don't do it. But it's also why, yeah. So yes, you've got the like you've got with the head. You basically will draw an eye, and I don't know how cartoony you want to go. I don't know how cartoony I want to do it even. But so you have like the eye just there. This is going to be an ugly fucker. I don't tend to put pupils in because I don't know where they're looking. But normally you have, so this is the distance that we've got for the eye, and you want another eye length, so that would be about here, and that's where you begin to draw the other eye, and you want to do it a bit smaller if you're basically slightly further away from camera, as it were. And I've gone for the cartoony eyes, not a traditional eye, because whatever. And then you've got like in the middle you've got the nose, and the nose is usually around about, you know, it starts at eye level. Usually, again, everybody's different. It's so annoying. When you're looking at the quarter turn, then basically you start it at eye level and you go down. This is going to be I want to be professional. Well, I don't care. It's not, you know, he's not my type. He has no mouth. What do you want? He's basically, he's a robot at this stage. So the nose is roughly usually like 1.5 to 2 eyes tall. So this is an eye measurement that we've got. This is the thing that we're basing this on. This might become his eyebrow. So this is the thing that we're basing on. The distance between these 2 points. You know, the edge, the width of the eye. And the nose is going to be like roughly 2 of these. So 1, 2. It's going to start from up here, and either halfway down the nose you want to go back in, and we're doing it from a quarter turn. So most people they don't just have a triangle nose. So most people have 2 parts of their nose. So you want to stop drawing here and then basically draw, you know, start again, do kind of like a butt shape on their face, because why not? So there you go. So there's the proportions of the face kind of roughly done, and using the cross method, you basically have got a good place to lay everything out, and you've also got a good place to start, you know, to start doing proportions with, using the head's measurements or the eye measurements and stuff. And like I said, I don't do this, but this is just, it's the way that you do it. You do butt face on the nose, and then you basically what happens is about half an eye measurement, so the distance between the top of the nose, and this is 2, isn't it? yeah. So we want this amount of space. So that is where the mouth's going to be. That doesn't look right now. Now I think about it. Let's try a whole eye. Let's try a whole eye length. It's usually half an eye. That's why I'm confused. There you go. You got a human. You have a human face just by putting that line in. That's the proportions. So that's a whole eye. That's where I'm going to start with that. And when you do emotions and stuff, then essentially that you always start with it depends on if you're looking at this side of the face. Again, I'm just telling you trying to tell you how to do proportions. I'm not trying to tell you how to do positioning and stuff like that. But depending, if you're doing this kind of drawing where it's a quarter turn kind of like look, then what you want is to start from the part of the face that's facing away from you in this quarter turn. So it'll be here. That's where you want to start from. And you could do, like I've just done a smile, well, I've done a smirk kind of thing. But again, starting here, if you want to do unhappy, then you start from there. You go up and then down instead of going down and then up again. You see what I mean? I don't know how well I'm explaining that. Ears, by the way, are usually wherever you end this cross, this side of this cross, this end point of the cross, that's where you usually put the ear. So that's going to be where the ear is going to be. And this is just the general shape. This circle that I've done is just the general shape of the head. It's not the shape of the head. We'll get on with shapes of heads later and stuff, because again, everybody's different. Everybody's shape of their head is different. I've got a bit chunky here, but obviously this back part will be lining more up with that. You can shape it however you want. Does that help at all? Take a screen grab, or basically, I'm not going to delete this live stream, so you can watch this again. If you have any issues with anything that I've said, or want to go back on anything that I've gone over before. But yeah, that's how you do human proportions usually. My absolute best advice, though, is to get an action figure. Look at how big things are relative to other things are on the action figure, and just start drawing just freehand. You can do the cross, you can do all of the, you can do the proportions, you can even have just to help you out, sometimes people have drawn little Da Vinci models like this. Again, this is the Da Vinci kind of model. I'm sure everybody's seen that picture. But it demonstrates the shape and length and proportions. That's his proportionate model of a human, and he drew that. It's even got a one. If you look at that particular sketch and you zoom in on the face, he even does what I've just done with the face. Showing you the proportions of the face and how they line up with themselves and stuff. It's funny. But yeah, if it helps, then go for it. I mean, you could always erase it later. So the ear was bugging me, just having a blank ear. Just I don't know why. Eyes are always going to be different as well whenever you do a. God, you look so confused. It's like, why have you made me alive? When you do the pupils, that's when you make a character alive. It's crazy, in my opinion, anyway. This is awesome. I'm glad you. I'm glad you think so. I can go into more detail about it when I'm actually drawing personal proportions and stuff, but he's a cute, ugly. He's a nobody. He's a disembodied head. Look at the puppy. Don't get distracted by the puppy. Very bad teaching method to basically put a puppy on the screen. Distraction. Puppy distraction. Now he's super cute because there's a puppy in the background. When you add the pupils, yeah, when you add the pupils, he looks so worried. It's only because I've done the face, I've done the mouth. He would have looked not super distracted or distressed. He's God puppy. Hey, if you could pick whatever you want to, basically for you to be your appearance, then a puppy's a good way to go. I mean, nobody's going to hurt a puppy. No, what monster would hurt a puppy? And you know, everybody loves puppies, so it's a good way to be. If you're a god, then yeah, he's probably in the shape of a puppy. Anything else that I can help you out with? Any that you want with the proportionate stuff? Again, you can always look back on this video if you need any more help. But if that doesn't help, then basically, just let me know. I will do it in another episode. I've not done anything with the puppy, and that's kind of the whole point. So, am I going to clear the whiteboard or the doggy board? You have other things to ask. Well, animal anatomy and stuff is different as well. That's the problem. It's just that you're gonna have to, if you want to draw animals and stuff, then you have to kind of study their anatomy and stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm doing. I could just clear the whole layer, but I'm not going to do that. Bye bye, crazy distracted man. Puppy. Yeah, I could do all of the layer, all of the anatomy of this dog from scratch. Problem is, like I said, that would take forever, and I don't really want to do it. I do not want to do it. I don't have. I don't have the patience to basically do it. Yeah, when the end result is going to be this anyway, is going to be what I'm going to do with this sketch, with this picture anyway. I don't want to. It just seems like a long way around it, if you know what I mean. So I have a scab on my face because I had a huge spot yesterday on my face. I just took it off and it was like, why did I do that? Right, so what do I want out of this picture? I just want his position and stuff. Everything else in this picture is so cute, but it's not helpful at all. Literally, just his body type is the thing that I'm going for. I also like how you can see a bit of paw. They're cute. If they're cute. Um, so yeah, this is part of his main, isn't it? God, it's too adorable. Yeah. So he's got a bunch of puppy fat and stuff, and that's kind of. I'm gonna take that as like a. Why am I black? Oh fuck! It's a sketch. I'm gonna go for burgundy because why not? You said I'm cute. I know it's distracting. It actually is actually distracting. So I just want the big paws, and they will be big paws by the time they're on this creature. Yeah. So again, it helped. I'm trying to think of the other ways that you could do proportions and stuff. But I got nothing. I got nothing right now. So obviously, this tool this program is super good because it essentially is a way to, I want to say, trace, because that's what I'm doing. I'm tracing the best bits that I need for my picture. And if I was using just a regular pencil and pad and paper, then what I would be doing, like I said, would be exactly the same thing. I'll be looking at his anatomy, I'll be looking at his proportions, and we will be going from there, and I will be essentially mimicking all the parts that I would like out of this picture. But I'll be making changes, and I am going to make some changes. This is the very super basic sketch that I'm doing for this picture. And this isn't even going to be the whole picture. This is just the bits that I need from this particular picture, because the original, I'm going to add some stuff and alter some stuff of the picture. But yeah, this program is very good for this because it means I can actually have a layer where it's just the sketch layer that I can have reference to later. Now, this program is a bit of a pain in the butt because when you're actually using the ink, when you're using the ink layer, the line work layer, then what it will do is every time you make a line, a stroke on the actual thing, then it will tell you that it's wrong to make so many lines. So you have to actually take your pen off of the pad from time to time. And I hate that because I'm not used to that. I'm just not used to that. I'm used to just like having the pen on the pad. I don't need his eyes. I'm not going to touch those. And they've got more angular snouts. I will put a line here for the positioning. Um, Rob's driving us home and I'm super sleepy, so I'm going to go for now, I suppose, and pass out in the car. Okay, Itchy. That's fair. Remember that where this episode is if you need any help with the stuff. Perspective and proportions. I mean, it was helpful, wasn't it? As long as it was helpful. But yeah, I'll see you later. Why have I got the final countdown stuck in my head? Why have I got that? It's the final countdown. I've already done this bit. Is this pink? Is this pink? It kind of looks burgundy to me, but then again, it would. Well, Jeff, I have been like I said, I've been an art tutor. In the past. So it wasn't like a huge leap or anything. Right, now the main. My God, this thing's adorable. Have I been around there? And just like that, we have got a basic outline of everything. It looks terrible at the moment because I haven't got the nose and stuff. But yeah. Yeah, Jeff, are you thinking about trying this out? Trying out the stuff that I suggested? Are you gonna try out a picture yourself? Just to make my just to make this sketchiness a bit better, I'm going to just add the nose. Yeah, it still looks a bit creepy. But again, that's not what we're going for. We're not going for a copy of the picture. I only put the nose and eyes there just because it made it look slightly less creepy. No, it does not look terrible at all. It looks great. Well, I'm not sure, Tubbs, but if I do, I'll let you know. Well, you know, art. It's all like, if you want to do it, it's not about if you should do it. Enough with the yawning. I think we've done pretty much a lot in this. So I wanted to get the initial sketch done, plus whatever you guys had an issue with, you know, whatever you needed specific help with. And I think we've done a lot with Itchy's problem. We've done a lot with Itchy's problem. It's cold. I haven't turned my heating on. I've put it over here. I haven't turned my heating on. Right. So get rid of this for now because we don't need it anymore. Technically, we've got all of the stuff that we need out of it. I just wanted his proportions and his his positioning and stuff. Some good extra detail with the fur and everything that I would like later is helpful. But like I said, these creatures aren't human. You know, they're not human dogs. They're not Earth dogs. They're different. I've done a picture. Oh, God. I've done a picture fairly recently. Let me see if I can open that. I've got to find it, so bear with me. I'll go through my entire archive. Oh my God. It's in the wrong fucking folder. Yeah, I did a picture of one recently when I first got the drawing pad. I don't know if you can. Yeah, when the very first time I actually got the drawing pad and I just drew it. Huge wingspan, huge. But I've done a few of these. But you can kind of tell it's more of a case of when they're actually flying, their hair and their their fur and their their fur and feathers, because again it's kind of a bit it's kind of a mix between fur, feathers, and it's complicated. The hair on their back is more feather-like, but it's not feathers, if that makes sense. It's an alien species, and all of the hair going from their back to their front, it gets more and more fur-like and hairy-like. When they're actually in flight, it kind of when the air runs past it and stuff, it kind of flattens it out and gives them more of a streamlining effect. But when they're not flying, they look very, very fluffy, and that's why I chose a puppy, because they naturally look fuzzy because they've got lots of puppy fat, and they're also kind of just got the right proportions and stuff for the face and head, because the face and head is not like normal dogs. It looks slightly bigger because it's slightly fluffier, and also the eyes, they're built for flight and for being dog eyes. And also their mouth and nose is also slightly more angular and flatter, so it's a bit, you know. That's why I chose a puppy. There is nothing that looks like these creatures on Earth, because they're not quite wolves, because their ears go back like a floppy puppy ears and stuff. And yeah, it just, oh my god, it's a whole big thing. It's a whole big thing, but this is the first digital picture that I've got of them. I do actually have other pictures, but they're old artwork that I found on my old computer. I've got a lot of physical pictures of them that I've drawn. Here, the computer just glitched out for a second. This is an old concept artwork that I did. But you could see here this is a picture of a sword, and it's a very, very elaborate decorative sword. It's not actually an actual sword, but this is the hilt of the sword, and as you can see, there's the Wolven Tyraxian on it, and it's got lots and lots of hair. This one's got very long hair, but it's also got wings. So there's a bunch of pictures like this just everywhere. All over my old sketchbooks. Wow, so I just noticed how big this picture is. Let me see if I can find. Nope. Oh my god, what the hell? Okay. Sorry, there's a really old piece of work that I did a long time ago that took me forever. Well, it didn't take me forever. It's just a circuit board design, and I was like, "Where is it? It's not on my computer." But yeah. There's a more refined version of the sword here. That's the display sword. This is the concept art for the display sword. This is the more practical sword. Excuse me. It even has the interchangeable blades, and there's a more kind of Egyptian. It's almost an Egyptian kind of depiction of wings. Of the two different versions of them. But you can. It's got into. You can. I did a different design concept. You've got the Terexian leaf, ornate leaf design here, and you've got the for the hilt. You've got the what's the end of the sword? What's the end of the sword called? God damn it! I know this, but it's just out of my head. But yeah, the end of the sword is also you've got the traditional Traxian stone, which is like it's a mineral that is precious to them. And you could interchange it between that and the paw design. So, well, I've designed two, so yeah, it's a bit helpful. Also, the blade is different somehow. I don't know how I did that. But yeah, these are the only pictures I've got of it on my computer for some reason. The detail isn't that great, especially this picture is not perfect either. But yeah. So we're going to try to make a woven Traxium out of this picture. First of all, I'm going to save. Now, I don't know how to do this with the wings at rest. Wing that way. So I'm just saving. This is its own project, so I don't have to worry about doing it later. Because they kind of just like they're not like birds. They don't just the wings don't just fold up. They kind of almost drag them. It's a little bit hard to explain. I guess the first thing we should sort out is the face, because as sweet and cute as the puppy dog face is, it's not. It's not Victorian. It's not Traxian. Um, yeah, they have a more angular and more shapely face, I guess. But the hair does conceal a lot of it. So I guess it'd just be it would be widening this nose part. It's still a bit too big. Maybe, yeah. I don't know what to talk about while I'm doing this, but yeah. So I'm also going to change the eyes slightly because they are very puppy dog. They're extremely puppy dog, and the Tyrexian eyes are slightly more. Like I said, they're not like eyes. They're also not supposed to be this big because, yeah, they're meant for speed and stuff. So they're slightly more angular. So we got like. They're also incredibly intelligent. The on Tyrexia, they have humans. They have humanoid Tyrexians. They're smarter than the humans. You know, biologically, they are way smarter than the humans. So already we've got like a more adult look, a more adult look to them. That looks a bit freaky, putting an eye actually in it. We'll do that in the color. We do the color sketch. I don't know. What? Oh, you sent me a message back. I did not know. Yeah, they've got like a different kind of they're just built differently. It's a bit hard to explain. I like the mane, but I do have to admit that it's actually the mane is a little bit undefined. There's lots of fuzz going on, and I'm actually not going to change that. I'm going to do that also in the color. Now, the design of their head, the ears. These are very big ears, especially on one side. Is that right? Yeah, this ear is massive compared to this one. Oh, it's because I've got the outline right. It's supposed to be like that. Yeah, see, not massive changes, but there are definitely changes. And there is more of a separation there. I don't know. Oh, just saying that you'd see me here. Okay. Well, now I get it. Now that makes more sense. Oh, the ears might be a bigger change. They're a lot smaller than the puppies. puppies' ears are huge because, like humans, the ears kind of just they don't grow. Like they kind of like they don't ever start off small. They always start off just as the size that they're supposed to be, and then they kind of grow with you, and they never stop. That's why old people's ears usually look huge. It's not. No, it's not because they're noticeably bigger or anything. In fact, it's the opposite. They're not noticeably bigger every single year of your life, but your ears do actually not stop growing. They are gonna continue to grow. If you live to be like 1,000, they will be huge. They will be noticeably bigger. But because they're not noticeably bigger each year, essentially you do notice that when you look at an old person, like 80s and 90s, then it's like their ears big. It's not because their ears are actually big, it's because just relative to everybody else's ears, they're kind of small. They're big. Everybody else's ears are kind of small. But same thing with puppies. Like puppies end up like they usually have big ears and they usually grow up to the point where their face and their head are become proportionate with those ears. They look like an adult dog because yeah. Whereas they kind of and they don't live as long as people, so they don't you don't notice the change in ears. You see a really old dog and they look kind of puppyish again because they've got slightly bigger ears than when they were a young dog. So yeah. So for a adult dog to have puppy ears is going to be an issue because as we just saw in all the pictures, they don't look like that. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? They're the right shape. They're just not. They're obviously the wrong size. What if I'm taking the whole head? I'm just wondering what this would look like. Oh, it looks weird and freaky. It's not crazily weird and freaky though. I think that's as far down I'm going to bring this. Again, don't want the head to look massive. Right, I think I could make that work. Again, we're just getting the sketchiness sorted out. See, already it looks like a more adult dog, doesn't it? Because I just shrank the ears. Right. I don't want to lose. What's this line? Apparently, it's nothing. That's neat. Yes, it should. It does look like more of an adult dog, so that's good. Okay. So we've got the mane. Paws are perfect. The paws are perfect. I don't want to change that. They have big paws for reasons. They're landing pads. So yeah. Right. So only problem is, again, now we just got to figure out the wings because I'm happy with all of this. I can't really do much about what it's going to look like. When it's got paint and stuff on it, but you know, we'll figure that out. So yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out the wings. Now, the whole picture is this big. Now, they've got huge wingspans. Their wingspans like crazy because they are functional wings. They actually work. The animal can fly. um, so yeah, so what if we shrank the whole picture slightly? Actually, let's add some size. Damn it. I've got to use my keyboard. That's the problem. I want a bigger. I want a bigger picture. There we go. I wanted a bigger picture so that I can actually, yeah. We can now do lots and lots of cool, funky stuff on it. So I've put this layer back in. We've got this picture. So there we go. Oh, it's way better. Now, I don't want to cover up any of this, but at the same time, his wing, if it does exist, will be kind of like down here. Oh fuck. So I've just accidentally. Kind of like angel wings, I guess. Again, sketch, so it's gonna be freaky. It's gonna look weird. This is what I mean. This is the sort of stuff that basically, whenever I do sketch work, I don't like showing you guys because it looks freaky sometimes. Until it's done, it kind of doesn't look right. And that's gonna be all kind of like, it's gonna be like feathers and stuff. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain visually exactly what I'm trying to get at with that part of the picture. Yeah. Like I want it to be. Maybe it should go up a bit more. You say not all, but it just is. It's weird just bringing people in on the inner workings of how this works. Yeah, what I said. Yeah, maybe I should bring this up more. Maybe it should be up like here. Like it should be poked up a bit more, and then swoop down. Yeah, stream lag hit me then. Well, this is, yeah, this is a bit more of my like semi-professional work. Like this is going to come in a little bit. Because like I did, like I said with the whole feathers and hair thing. Does that look good? Does that look right? Does that make sense? They're not really feathers. They are just thick hairs that look like feathers. If you know what I mean. You know, they don't really act. They act like feathers, but they're not really feathers. So yeah. Just looks like an angel puppy. Yeah. I wanted that to taper off a little bit, just in the background. Now I've done that. What? He's trying to save the JPEG. Oh my god! I'm gonna end the stream here and then figure this out because that's bullshit. 122. Yeah, it should be 122. Okay. Something weird is happening with my computer. Well, not with the computer exactly, with the filing system. I know you just touched that like a. Renaming file 147. There you go. Where did 122 go? I have no clue where 122 went. Tubbs, I really enjoyed your teaching very much. I'm so glad I was so much. I'm so glad I was already subscribed to the Meadows so I could watch this. Well, hopefully this channel is going to get. I'm going to revamp all of the channel so that it doesn't just disappear and stuff. And we're going to continue with this and stuff. But you've seen essentially how I do my super basic sketch. The super basic sketch. We're going to go on to background sketches. What I'm going to do for the background next time. But this is the, oh my god. Jeffrey, you don't know it, but the computer screen, well, this computer just crashed. So I've got to go on this computer and read what you said. I'm going to get rid of this though. There we go. Now I can read what you said. Oh my, what the fuck? This is, it didn't, it said that Windows would need to restart, and now it's not. It's not restarting. It's just continuing like nothing happened. What is with you, computer? It's even got the web page back open. Oh, what? I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So you've seen basically how I do a general sketch. A lot of the time was taken up by the spider issue, which is still freaking me out a little bit. I've got a feeling I haven't seen the last of that spider. But yeah, I was hoping to get all of the sketching done for the actual character sketch. We learned about perspective, and we learned about proportions. And I will be happy to go into more of the perspective and the detail of what you expect for perspective and stuff. Because I don't think I got into that much of the perspective stuff. I got into basic perspective stuff and perspective points, and that was helpful. That was handy. But there's a lot more to perspective than just those things. That's more for beginners and for basic. That's basic perspective stuff, you know. The point is that you've got like that's a more isometric. It's almost isometric kind of perspective. But I mean, hopefully it will help, at least to begin with. Oh my god. I'm gonna go eat something. I'm really, really hungry. I'm not tired at all. I'm just really hungry. I don't know why I'm yawning. Yeah, so there's that. And the proportions things, that I mean, that's very, very basic human proportions, and hopefully that helps. But like I said, the best results that I would suggest for best results, that you invest in an action figure. And I know that Itchy basically has a bunch of action figures, so that'll be helpful. But yeah, try drawing them as if they are not action figures. That's basically the best thing you can do, because then you'll get used to people's perspective, people's proportions. You'll get used to the anatomy of people and stuff like that. You could do anatomy classes as well. There's this whole thing where drawing anatomy and stuff, very, very basic principles of muscles and stuff. You don't have to go into gory detail or anything, but there's the famous thing where when you go to art school and stuff, there will be a bit where you draw your favorite characters, but you draw their skeletons. You don't draw anything else but their skeletons. You take an action scene or anything, you draw it of your favorite like comic book character or Disney character or whatever, and what you do is you draw that, and then you draw the skeletons, and it will give you good proportion basis on how things work, as well as anatomy of people, and get you used to it. It's kind of how they teach people how to do stuff in art school. They just it's very much about anatomy and things. They also do that in animation. Ugh. Because it's helpful. It's actually helpful in animation, because you sometimes need to do fake muscles on a face to get that face to look like it's actually being animated. So yeah. But I'm not going to get into all of that now, because that is incredibly annoying sometimes. It's unnecessary. It's very unnecessary for a beginner class. All you need to know is basic shapes and the rule of heads, as they call it. So yeah. So we didn't get too much done on the actual picture itself. Again, that's fine. This is a class after all. So throughout the year, hopefully, we're going to get to do more steps. But step one is the conceptual picture, the conceptual art and stuff, and you've seen me begin the process of actually doing that. So next time we might continue to do that. We'll be getting into either coloring, to basically mapping out where we're going to put colors using a different layer of different sketching. Then we're going to be doing the background. What we're going to do with the background before that. Why? Whoa. I think it's because I'm talking all the time. I think that's it. Yeah, we're going to do the background, and then we'll get onto the tricky parts of actually doing like line art and color and paint and all of that stuff. And it's going to be a pain in the butt, but it's going to be very helpful because it will help us both, me and whoever's watching that is interested in doing digital art or just doing art. How to use the programs that I'm using. It'll teach us both how to do those things, hopefully. I mean, you saw before that I basically couldn't figure out how to do lines, and that's because I'd done it yesterday, but I didn't know how I did it yesterday because I just did it yesterday without thinking about it. But now that I was actually being watched and I was doing it, it was like, oh fuck, how do I do lines? How do I do straight lines? But you saw me completely not thinking about how I was going to change the size of the ears and stuff without having to erase it and redraw the entire thing, and I just did it because I didn't think about it, to be honest. So yeah, this yawning is really irritating. It might be because I just turned the heating on. It might be that weird temperature changes or something. I don't know. They did find out recently that yawning is caused by your brain being too warm. So maybe I'm just overworking my brain. Anyway, I do not know when I'll be back to do this series again on account of this program will cost money if I keep doing this every single day. So it can't be an everyday thing. It might be a once a week thing. Who knows? I will be back on Bear Tubs though on Sunday for the Live Tubs Weekly, and we'll be talking about stuff. So there's that. In other news, I have filmed something. I am going to be editing it tomorrow, probably, and I have commission slots open in case anybody wants to pay me to draw something. That'd be great. I'm really looking forward to doing something like the Disney Dads again. I really want to do that, but I understand that commissions like that aren't going to come around all the time, and it's a real pain in the butt because that was a lot of money that they gave me to do those pictures, and I was very, very happy with it. And well, yeah. So I'm currently free to draw anything, and I won't be drawing this unless I'm actually on stream with you guys. So don't worry, I'm not going to finish this off screen and then just not talk about it anymore. But yeah. Right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go eat. And Jeff, I made a sandwich and stuff. I basically made myself lunch. So I'm looking forward to eating that. I think I've even got sushi. They even got sushi for me. So yeah. Only a little tray of sushi that you can get from the store. It's actually really good here. You know, I've not got sick of the sushi ever. So that's really good. It's really nice sushi. Mackerel sushi. Mackerel sushi is yummy. Anyway, bye bye. Until next week. I will see you on this channel next week. Sunday for Bear Tubs Weekly. We know where we are. I would do the belly rubs and belly salute thing, but again, professional channel. So yeah.